Hi, welcome to this SQL tutorial video, and today we're going to look at the IIF statement. The IIF statement is very similar to the case statement, where you write a statement that has conditions, and depending on if the conditions are true or false, it will return a value. So I'm going to show a few examples of how we write this statement. I've also put a link to the case statement video that I did, so you can look at them both and compare them. They essentially do the same job, and I think really it's whether you are more comfortable using the case statement or the if statement as to whether you use one or the other. They both look different in how they're written, but they do the same thing. So on screen I've got a basic select against a table, and what I want to do is I want to write another column here that will show me true or false if this column is 1 or 0. Okay, so if I do IIF, this expects 3 parameters, not very well named, expression, but the first one is what logic, what condition do you want to evaluate. So I'm going to say if is red, that's my column, ft underscore is red equals 1, and then I put a comma, and if it's 1 I'm going to return the word true, and if it's not 1 I'm going to return the word false. And then really I should give it an alias at this point, so I'll just put is red, and if I run that, it returns true or false depending on if that condition is true or false. Now I've put true or false there. It doesn't have to be true or false. I can put whatever I like there. So if I do ft is red equals 1, and then I can put pink, yellow. The important thing here is, of the 3 conditions, this is the thing that's saying is it true or false. These 2 responses here have got to be the same type, the same data type. So in this case they are both text. I can't put a number and text in the same if statement as a response. So if I press this, it won't like it. They've got to be the same data type. So I could make them both the same in that way, or I could do like I had before and do true or false. So as long as these 2 are the same data types, then the if statement's happy. Now what you can do, you're not limited to doing a single condition, so I can say if and then I can say so I've got a new column here that is called red blue, and if is red is 1 and is blue is 1, then return red blue, otherwise return not. So if I just go down here, there's some red blues there. So you can have as many conditions as you want in this first parameter bit here. You can also have multiple nested if statements. So if I do this and say is red equals 1, no, if I say equals 0, so it's not red, and then I put a comma for my next expression. Now I don't know why this is, but we're now in this second expression here, so that should be bold. I don't know why it's not doing that, but anyway, I'll just press escape to get rid of that prompt. So if ft is red equals 0, then it expects me to say what to do if that is true. So what I'm going to say here is if, and I'm going to say ft is green equals 0. Then I'm now in a new if statement here, a new IIF statement here. So I'm no longer in this bit just at the minute. So if I go here, I'm currently evaluating this IIF statement here. So if it's green, if is green equals 0, I'm going to say not green and not white. Otherwise, it is green. And then when I end the bracket here, that's the end of my statement here. That's the end of that if statement. And then I'll put a comma for the end of my is red and say is red. If I just run that. So we can see I've got this saying is green, I've got this here saying is red, and I've got these saying not green and not, for whatever reason I put not white. So you can have as many as you like of these if statements nested within each other. And maybe when you're doing that, you would ideally put them on different lines, maybe and tab them just so you know what belongs to where, so that it kind of makes it a little bit easier to read. The last thing I'll show you here is to say that in the condition, in the initial parameter here, the condition that we're checking, if we say is red equals 1, I can then also say and ft type like, oh my goodness me. Then I can say so if I run that, in fact I'm just going to comment out of this just to make it easy to see. But if I run this, my point here is to say that in the conditions here, in the initial check, the true or false check, I'm not limited to each of these being of the same type. So I've got this here saying is red equals 1 and is blue equals 1. I can say is red equals 1 and this text box contains the word instant. This text field contains the word instant. So somewhere down here I should, in fact I just saw one there is red and it's of type instant. So that's it within the select. That's kind of the options and an overview of what you can do. But like with anything in SQL, whatever you can do up here, you can do in your, well, I'm going to be careful here, but generally whatever you can do at the top here, you can do in the where clause. So I can say where, and let me just nick that, equals so the result of this IIF statement is either going to be red instant or not. It's either going to be true or false, and if it's true it's going to say red instant. If it's not true it's going to say not. So I can say here, get me everything where that is red instant, and it returns everything where that logic is true, that returns the value red instant. Or I can say where it equals not, but I can't say where it equals false, because that's not what it's not going to ever return false. It's either going to return red instant or it's going to return not. So you can take this IIF statement and you can put it in your where clause as well as in the select. That's the end of this tutorial. Any comments or feedback, that would be appreciated. It helps me with my content. I hope you found this video helpful.